Okay, so the first game that we're going to look at in the top 12 is going to be a stall. This is a brawler. I guess you can call it a brawler or beat 'em up in a sense. So it's just going from the start of the level to the end of the level, beating up enemies and fighting bosses. Their art style is really, really nice. It looks really well done. I like the use of both the foreground and the background, how the enemies jump from the foreground there and the background. Very, very well, very nicely used there. But yeah, it's definitely a game that I really enjoy coming back to every once in a while. I was playing my Saturn. This is actually the first game I ever had for my Saturn. I remember picking my Saturn at a Goodwill back in about 2006 or so for like $30. It came with everything. I was really really excited to pick that up, and this is the first game I bought with it. I walked into I think it was a Game Craze, and I ended up buying this for $13. I do wish that I still had the game in my collection. I don't, but all these games I'm showing you in this top 12 video are used with permission. So, and that's as much as I can say about it. but yeah, it's a really great game. Definitely suggest seeking this out if you guys like beat 'em ups, brawlers. This is definitely a game to check out on the Sega Saturn for sure. In this second level you're going to see here, I love the use of the lighting. I love how you just get the atmosphere of the cave there with the bats overhead and the light shafts coming through. It just looks really, really awesome.
Estelle, you mustn't surrender. Have courage. Fight.
Okay, second game is going to be Saturn Bomberman, or Bomberman S in Japan. So if those that have never played Bomberman, it's a very interesting game. I mean, at this point, who hasn't played Bomberman? But it's a game where it has you defeat enemies by placing bombs, getting power-ups and things like that. The level design's really well done. I love the colors, the animation. This game's really awesome. Now, what makes this game stand out, and what really a lot of people liked about it back in the day, is that this is up to a 10-player Bomberman. Up to 10 players. That's a lot of players. But that's actually pretty cool. So you can up to 10-player multiplayer. So it can get pretty pretty intense. I've never played with that many people, but I can imagine it'd be pretty intense. And I like how you can ride on little animals there. It makes it easier to get around. And it provides you with an extra hit, so that's cool too. Okay, the next game we're looking at is Clockwork Night. I'm sorry, Clockwork Night 2. So this game plays as a side-scrolling platformer. I like the atmosphere you play in. Like you're just a little toy wind-up knight, going through building blocks and and battling other toys. I like the 3D environment, or the I guess the pseudo 3D environment that you play in. The animation's great. The music's great. Really has a has a charm there. I like the arm flailing. That's kind of funny. But it's a really good game. I don't see this talked about much, but it definitely is in one of my top 12 games that I like to play on the Saturn. What I don't like is the fact that you can't, when you're up this high, you can't see below you. So you could be falling into a pit, you could be falling onto an enemy. But I mean, other than that, it's definitely a lot of fun, definitely worth checking out. Daytona USA, another staple in the Sega Saturn life cycle. I love that intro. So this is an arcade racing game that was brought to the Sega Saturn from the arcades. It's a great racing game. The second game is definitely better. Daytona USA Championship Edition, I think is what it is, because it offers actually 2 players, which is kind of neat. But that's really neat. But it's still a nice arcade racing game. Definitely worth checking out. It's definitely a challenging game, but definitely a game I do like coming back to every once in a while. Playing the Saturn. If nothing else, for the awesome, awesome music and challenging gameplay. Definitely challenging gameplay. I like the car damage. That's I like that. That's kind of neat to see. But yeah, it definitely is a very, very challenging game. But definitely worth checking out, and a must own on the Sega Saturn. And it's actually not that expensive either. I think it's like maybe $10. Maybe 15 complete. I may be wrong on that, but I know it's not like too expensive. Die Hard Arcade. Another great arcade game that came to the Sega Saturn. This game, I remember playing this game back at a local arcade. I threw so many quarters in this game. But this is a beat 'em up. I want to say, I guess, a tie-in to the film to some degree. I don't quite know. I mean, all I know is it's a great brawler for the for the Saturn. You got weapons, you got quick time events. I mean, there's just so much to this game. It's so awesome. But yeah, this game's great. Definitely worth owning on the Saturn if you like brawlers, or you just want to have some fun either with yourself or with a friend, because this does support up to 2-player co-op. But definitely a great brawler to see come from the arcades to the Sega Saturn. Definitely a very good fit for the system, and worth checking out. And here you're going to see one of the QuickTime events I was referring to. Push kick, and I failed. Now, if memory serves, if you fail a QuickTime event in the arcade, I believe that's when it uses up one of your credits. So it uses that as a kind of a gotcha. If I remember correctly, again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if you miss a QuickTime event, like right here, or no, sorry, before, that you would eat up one of your quarters, and you'd have to put another quarter to continue the game. But like I said, definitely a great game to play on the Saturn. Definitely one to look out for. It is getting up there in price, but definitely worth seeking out if you have a Saturn. This is definitely worth playing and worth having in your collection. Fighters Megamix on Sega Saturn. So this game is a 3D fighting game. It incorporates the entire cast from Virtua Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers, as well as a couple of characters, I believe, from the first Virtua Fighter game. But this is definitely a great fighting game. It's got some hidden characters in the game. You can play as there's a piece of meat you can fight as. You can fight as the Hornet, which is the Daytona USA car from Daytona USA on the Saturn. And the other character that you can fight as through unlocking is the AM2 palm tree icon. So definitely an interesting mix of fighters. Definitely a great fighting game on the Saturn. Plays really well, plays very smooth, and definitely one to look out for. It's not very expensive, and if you need to, you can get the Japanese version. So you don't need to know Japanese to play the game. Definitely a great fighting game to to play on the Saturn. Who doesn't want to play as who doesn't want to fight as a piece of meat, a Sega AM2 palm tree, or a or a Daytona USA racing car. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely a game to play on the Saturn. Alright, here we've got Guardian Heroes on the Sega Saturn. We're going to go ahead and play as Han here. Alright, I like the animated dialogue. Feels very cartoony. Fits the game very well. So this is a hack and slash beat 'em up with RPG elements. The game plays amazingly well. It plays like an interactive cartoon, where you can jump between the foreground and the background, which is kind of neat. Really like that aspect of it. And here I'm leveling up here. Just trash on these knights. And then you go outside and do some more hack and slash action. Go out into the village, town, whatever you want to call it. So the dialogue's definitely got some humor there. It's pretty good. I really enjoy it. I will say that the CPU or the AI in this game is not that bright, and it can sometimes get in the way. But other than that, it's definitely a really great game to check out. Worth playing, in my opinion. If you like hack and slash games and you got a Sega Saturn, this is definitely a game worth checking out. Okay, that was Guardian Heroes. Here we have Sega Rally Championship 1995. This is actually the Japanese version. It's actually one I got from Pink Gorilla Games. Believe it or not, in their $5 fill bag bins, which is really happy to have that. And yeah, so here's the game. It's a racing game. And it's got you racing across, racing on dirt tracks. The gameplay is very smooth. and lots of fun. The controls a little flighty, as you can see, but that's to be expected with this kind of a racing game. But the colors are vibrant, the gameplay is smooth, and definitely overall, a very enjoyable racing game with the Sega Saturn, and it's pretty cheap. I think you can get the game for less than maybe $10 US. It's definitely a cheap game to import if you want to go on eBay or something like that and grab this game. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth having in your Sega Saturn collection. Okay, finished 13th there, so not great, but not bad. And here you're seeing a race here on asphalt through a forest, so there is that too. It does kind of change up the gameplay, but at its core, it is still an arcade style rally racing game, and it's a very very well done game. Definitely worth having in your collection. And again, it's very cheap to import, so definitely recommend this game as a good game to have in your collection here. Here we've got Strikers 1945. Got a couple different game modes there. Different planes to choose from. This is a great vertical shmup on the Sega Saturn. Very fast paced, really nice shmup. Great, has some great arcade feel. Lots of enemies, huge bosses. Kind of a steep difficulty, all around great game. Three Dirty Dwarfs. great action platformer. I guess you can call. Well, I guess you could call it more of a beat 'em up, really. But it's a game where you play as three dwarves, each with their own ability and their own weapon. Great beat 'em up on the Saturn. Looks great. Plays like an interactive cartoon. Love the animation and all around very fun. Very fun game. I like how he uses the sewer areas, like how it has the multiple levels to or multiple levels to the stage. Gives it some depth. With this boss, I like how when you go from left to right, the entire stage rotates around the boss. It really gives it a nice depth to the room, and it looks really nice too. Cybertroopers, Virtual On or Virtual On, is a versus fighting game that I remember playing in the arcades back in the 90s. This is a great arcade game. I used to plop so many quarters into the arcade machine playing this. Lots of fun. Very happy to see it on the Sega Saturn. Definitely want to tend to come back to time and time again. It's definitely an amazing game. Um, it looks great, plays great.
Round 2. Get ready.
X-Men versus Street Fighter. This is one of the Sega Saturn games that actually requires the extra RAM card. And this is, as far as I understand it, is a perfect arcade port. Definitely a great fighting game, fast, fluid, and a lot of fun. The Sega Saturn had a lot of great arcade ports that came home that looked very good and performed very well. Definitely makes great use of extra RAM, and the game looks great. Loads relatively quickly, and is a heck of a lot of fun to play. Alrighty, well, that's been a look at my top 12 of Sega Saturn games that are definitely must-plays on the system. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for subscribing. As always, till next time. Take care and happy gaming.